Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a point in every person's life when they must confront a hard truth. Talent alone is not enough. Intelligence alone is not enough. Passion alone is not enough. If you want to change your life, if you want to rise above your circumstances, shatter limitations, and walk in the fullness of your potential, there is one essential ingredient you cannot live without: discipline. You can have the biggest dreams, the boldest vision, the strongest desire. But without discipline, all of it fades into regret. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to become. It's the daily decision to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's choosing purpose over pleasure, responsibility over excuses, growth over comfort. And I'll tell you right now, discipline will demand everything from you. It will challenge your habits. It will confront your mindset. It will force you to cut ties with every excuse, every distraction, every weakness that's been holding you back. But in that struggle, in that sacrifice, in that moment where most people quit, you will find yourself becoming someone stronger, someone sharper, someone unshakable. You see, we live in a world that worships motivation. People wait to feel ready. They chase inspiration. They scroll for hours looking for a spark to ignite them. But motivation is fleeting. It's temporary. It's unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, is constant. It's the fire you build with your own two hands. It's the foundation you lay brick by brick, through your actions, your habits, your focus. And once discipline becomes your default, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. So today, I challenge you to stop looking for shortcuts. Stop chasing emotions. Stop negotiating with your greatness. Make the decision to discipline yourself, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Because everything you want, everything you're capable of becoming, is waiting on the other side of consistent, relentless, unapologetic discipline. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. That single decision, repeated day after day, is the dividing line between the average life and the extraordinary one. It's the invisible force behind every champion, every innovator, every leader, every person who decided to rise above their circumstances. The world is filled with people who want something: success, respect, wealth, peace, transformation. But only a small few are willing to do what it takes consistently to achieve it. And the difference lies in discipline. Discipline is not a punishment. It's not about being rigid, robotic, or joyless. Discipline is a gift you give to your future self. It's an act of self-respect. It's telling yourself, I am worthy of the best, and I'm willing to delay short-term pleasure to achieve long-term greatness. It's refusing to be a prisoner of your impulses. Because the truth is, if you don't master your habits will master you. If you don't lead your emotions will lead you. If you don't discipline yourself, life will discipline you. And that kind of discipline is far more painful. You see, every day you're faced with choices. You can hit snooze or get up and grind. You can eat what's convenient or fuel your body for performance. You can scroll your phone for hours or invest that time in building a skill, a business, a future. And every time you choose what's easy, what's comfortable, what feels good in the moment, you delay what you want most. Because success isn't found in a single big moment. It's found in the repeated small decisions that most people overlook. People fail not because they're not capable, but because they're not consistent. They start strong, but they don't stay strong. They move when they're motivated, but they stop when the feeling fades. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline says, do it anyway. Discipline says, get up even when it hurts. Discipline says, you made a promise to yourself. Honor it. That's what separates winners from wishers. Look around at anyone you admire, an athlete, a speaker, a business leader, a parent who raised children with character, and you will find a story of sacrifice. You will find someone who gave up comfort to pursue character, someone who made unpopular choices in quiet moments so they could stand tall when the spotlight came. And that's what you must decide today. Are you willing to give up the short-term hit of comfort for the long-term power of purpose? We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Fast food, fast money, overnight success. But what they don't tell you is that anything worth having takes time. It takes focus. It takes repetition. And it takes the kind of discipline that most people run from. But if you can embrace it, if you can make discipline your ally, you will unlock a level of freedom that most people never experience. Yes, freedom. Because that's the paradox. Discipline doesn't restrict you. It liberates you. It frees you from regret. It frees you from the chaos of inconsistency. It frees you from the stress of always being behind. Discipline is the foundation of confidence. When you know you've done the work, when you know you've shown up day after day, you don't need to fake confidence. You walk in it. You own it. And it all starts with choosing what you want most. Ask yourself, what do I want most in life? Not what looks good on social media. Not what someone else thinks I should want. What do I want? Peace of mind, a stealthy family, a thriving business, purpose-driven work. Whatever your answer is, discipline is the only path that will take you there. Because what you want most is not a wish, it's a responsibility. And the enemy of what you want most is what you want now. The quick fix, the easy escape, the emotional response, the temporary comfort. You'll always be tempted to trade your highest goal for your immediate desire. But those who win in life are the ones who have trained themselves to say no to now, so they can say yes to next. Discipline is built in the moments no one sees. It's built when you're tired but show up anyway. It's built when you want to quit but you push through. It's built in the gym before sunrise, in the books you read when others are sleeping, in the habits you guard, even when no one's watching. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It whispers in your routine. And over time, those whispers become results. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your training. That's why discipline is non-negotiable. It's your training ground. You train your body, your mind, your will. You condition yourself to operate from purpose, not emotion. And when life throws chaos your way, and it will, you won't fold. You'll stand. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained for it. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is found in your daily disciplines, the things you repeatedly do or fail to do. You can't cheat discipline. You can't hack your way around it. You either live it or you live in regret. Those are the options. But the beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every day you show up, it gets a little easier. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to your destiny. Every small win builds momentum. And eventually, that momentum becomes unstoppable. That's when people start to say, "You're lucky." No, you're disciplined. And that's far more powerful than luck. People often ask, how do I stay motivated? Wrong question. Ask instead, how do I stay disciplined? Because discipline shows up when motivation checks out. Discipline is what drags you out of bed when motivation says, sleep in. Discipline is what makes you pick up the book when motivation says, watch TV. Discipline is what keeps you pushing when motivation has gone silent. And understand this, discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You will stumble. You will mess up. You will have bad days. But discipline says, I don't need perfection. I need commitment. Keep showing up. Keep adjusting. Keep growing. Because even in failure, discipline teaches. It refines. It sharpens. So if you're tired of starting over, if you're tired of talking more than doing, if you're tired of watching others win while you stay stuck, then make the decision right here, right now. Discipline yourself. Train your thoughts. Command your habits. Lead your emotions. Take the actions. Build the routines. Because what you want most is too important to be sacrificed on the altar of what you want now. That short-term desire will fade, but the life you build with discipline will last. And when you look back years from now, you'll thank yourself. You'll thank yourself for the days you chose growth over ease, structure over chaos, consistency over excuses. The people who leave a legacy are not the ones who had it easiest. They're the ones who had the most discipline. They knew the price of greatness and paid it every single day. And now it's your turn. You don't need a new plan. You don't need a new strategy. You need a new level of discipline. And when you commit to that, truly commit, there is no limit to what you can become. Discipline turns your potential into power. It takes what is possible and makes it real. Potential by itself means nothing. It's a starting point, not a finish line. Every person is born with some level of talent, a spark of something great inside them. But not every person will unlock it. Not every person will use it. Why? Because without discipline, potential is just a promise never kept. It becomes a silent weight you carry, a haunting reminder of what could have been. But when you apply discipline to your potential, everything changes. You begin to harness that internal fire. You begin to forge strength out of struggle. You begin to see your life transform. Not because your talent increased, but because your discipline activated it. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the strongest. You just need to be consistent. Discipline levels the playing field. It takes an average person and builds an extraordinary life. Because discipline is the great multiplier. It takes small actions and compounds them into big results. It takes 5 minutes of focus and turns it into 5 years of transformation. It turns weakness into strength, confusion into clarity, fear into momentum. That's the power you tap into when you decide to discipline yourself. Potential is everywhere. It's in your ideas, your dreams, your skills. But potential is dormant until discipline wakes it up. You can sit in a room full of vision boards, affirmations, and goals, but none of it will manifest without discipline. And the reason most people never fulfill their potential is not because they lack dreams. It's because they lack discipline. They keep starting and stopping. They keep making promises and breaking them. They keep setting goals and walking away when it gets hard. That cycle kills momentum. And without momentum, potential suffocates. But when you discipline yourself, you breathe life into your purpose. You create rhythm. You build identity. You stop saying, I want to be great. And you start living like someone who is becoming great. And that daily discipline turns the abstract into the actual. You stop hoping and start becoming. That's what power looks like. Not waiting on circumstances to change, but building the habits that change your circumstances. Power comes from ownership. Discipline is the act of taking ownership over your life, your time, your thoughts, your energy. It's refusing to wait for the perfect moment and deciding that now is the moment. It's getting up when no one's clapping, showing up when no one's watching, pushing forward when no one's helping. Discipline says, I am responsible for my growth. And once you start thinking like that, you stop blaming, you stop whining, you stop delaying. That mindset unlocks power. Think of the strongest people you know, the ones who walk with confidence, who produce results, who build things that last. Their strength doesn't come from luck. It comes from habits. They weren't born powerful. They built power through discipline. They made hard decisions when no one else would. They stayed when others left. They studied when others partied. They planned when others complained. And now they walk in a level of power that others envy, but few are willing to earn. Discipline is not always exciting. It's not flashy. It's often repetitive, unglamorous behind-the-scenes work. But that's where true power is formed. In silence, in solitude, in sacrifice. That's where you outgrow your excuses. That's where you silence your doubts. That's where you learn to lead yourself. You see, when you discipline yourself, you start building trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, your confidence grows. Every time you push past resistance, your belief strengthens. You're no longer relying on external validation. You don't need applause to feel worthy. Your worth becomes rooted in your work ethic. That internal stability becomes a superpower. Because when storms come, and they will, you don't crumble. You've built strength. You've built endurance. You've built identity. Potential without discipline is like a car with no engine. It might look good on the outside, but it's not going anywhere. Discipline is what gets the wheels turning. It's what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Because motivation fades, life gets heavy, but discipline becomes your engine. It keeps you in motion, and that motion builds power. Discipline allows you to develop mastery, and mastery creates leverage. When you master your craft, your voice, your time management, your habits, you gain control. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You're no longer a victim of distraction or emotion. You move with purpose. You speak with clarity. You act with conviction. That level of internal power can't be bought. It must be built. Let me say this clearly. You are capable of more than you think, but you'll never access it without discipline. You have ideas you haven't executed, talents you haven't developed, strength you haven't tested. Not because it's not in you, but because you haven't demanded it from yourself. Discipline demands. It calls you higher. It doesn't tolerate mediocrity. It pulls you out of comfort and into challenge. And it's in the challenge where your power is born. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It cares how you act. And your future is shaped by actions, not feelings. Feelings change, they rise and fall. But actions, those build legacy. If you can discipline yourself to act in alignment with your values, regardless of your mood, you will develop a kind of power that very few people possess. You'll become dangerous to doubt, dangerous to delay, dangerous to anything that tries to pull you back into your old self. Powerful people are disciplined people. They control their time, their words, their reactions, their direction. They don't chase validation. They chase excellence. They don't need a spotlight to shine. They shine in the dark. And because of that, when the spotlight does come, they're ready. That's the life discipline builds. You don't have to do everything at once. Start with one area, one commitment, one small habit, one non-negotiable routine, and honor it, guard it, grow it, because discipline in one area always spills into others. You'll start noticing your mindset sharpening, your energy shifting, your standards rising. That's the quiet build of power. And make no mistake, discipline is hard. It will cost you. It will stretch you. But everything you want is on the other side of it. You can't skip the process. You can't fake the work. But if you stay with it, if you keep showing up, your potential will stop being a theory and start becoming a testimony. You'll look back and say, this is what discipline built. The strong body, the peaceful mind, the growing business, the healed family, the elevated life, not because you got lucky, but because you got serious. You stopped waiting and started working. You stopped doubting and started doing. You stopped wishing and started building. That's what discipline does. It transforms the possible into the proven, the dream into the done, the potential into power. So if you've been sitting on a vision, if you've been talking more than doing, if you've been wondering when it's finally your time, it's right now. Discipline yourself, lead yourself, build yourself, and watch what happens when you stop letting potential collect dust and start turning it into power that can move mountains, shift atmospheres, and change your life forever.